Hello, wonderful first graders. Hi to Gloria and Petra and Paul. Hi, John Michael and Javante. Hi to Zafara and Lamisha and Elias. I'm so excited to talk to you today. We are going to be going over our week 7 packet. And so this is the start of week 7. It runs from May 4th through May 8th. On the first page of your packet, as always, are some expectations and some tools, our 10 frame, our number bond, and our place value chart. On the next page of your work is adding with pictures, sums to 30, and we have done this last week as well, so hopefully you're very well practiced. The thing that we're remembering most is that every line across has 5. So 2 lines, so we can either count a full line by 5s, or we can count every 2 lines as a 10. So here I see that I've got 1, 2, 3 full lines here, so that's 5, 10, 15. Over here I've got 2 full lines and then a partial line, okay? So I had 15 in this group. I'm going to keep counting by 5s, 15, 20, 25, and then when I don't have a full line, I'm going to have to count by 1s. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So I can count by 5s or 10s until I have to count by singles. 29 is going to be my answer. Over here we have that same thing where if I want to, I can try to make a complete line by moving part of my first group into my second group. So I see here there's only 1 missing to make a complete group, so I can, and this is not a complete group either. So I'm just going to take one of those and move it right there. Now I have 3 complete groups, 1 complete group, and 2 extras. And it just means I don't have to count all of those as singles. So now I can say 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22. Does it matter if I count this group's first or these groups first? Which side of my plus sign? Nope. When I'm putting them all together in a big group, when I'm adding, it doesn't matter which side I count first, or even what groups I count them in. I'm just trying to make it easy for myself. All right, the next page has our geometry work, which I love. So this says up here, trace the triangle. So here's some dots for you to trace a triangle. And then draw 2 larger and 1 smaller triangles. Okay, so you're going to trace this one and then draw 2 that are larger and 1 that is smaller, but all triangles. Okay, the bottom part of that says find 3 triangles and color them. Okay, so we're thinking about what do triangles have in common? What do we know about triangles? Triangles have 3 sides. Triangles have 3 corners or angles. And so we're going to look at all these shapes and find the 3 triangles and color them. At the very bottom of your page is your ELA assignment. It begins at the bottom of this geometry page. And it says, directions. Read the passage and answer questions. Miss Camille's going to read the title. It's right down here at the bottom. The spy will try not to cry. I'm going to put my eyes on that and read that one more time. The spy will try not to cry. Did you notice a focus sound? I did. I heard the long I sound. But if I look at that sentence, at that title, I don't see the letter I at all. What is making that long I sound? Let's look at the first, the spy, spy. It's right there at the end of the word spy. there is the letter Y. The letter Y at the end of a word can have a long I sound. I bet there's going to be more of those words in our reading. So get out your tracking finger. We'll put it right on the title. The spy will try not to cry. The spy does not know why someone put a hole in his paper. The spy will try not to cry. For now, his eyes are dry, but later he may cry. The spy goes on a plane in the sky. He acts shy so he can spy on two sly men who fly on the plane. He sees them try to stop the plane. He stops the men and makes them cry. They wonder why the spy saw them fly. They were sly, but now they cry. The spy has dry eyes. He does not cry. He is a sly spy. Well, that is a story. After we read our story, you can feel free to rewind, read along with Miss Camille again, or listen to the story as many times as you need to answer the questions. And when we're ready, you'll go right here to question number 1 that says, what will the spy try not to do? So thinking about the beginning of our story, what will the spy try not to do? Number 2, where, okay, it's a where question. Your answer is going to be a place. Where are the two sly men? Okay, in our story, where did the spy find the two sly men? And number 3, does the spy cry? So at the beginning, he was feeling like he was going to cry, maybe not right now, maybe later. By the end of the story, the question wants to know, does the spy cry? So again, feel free to listen to the story again, read the story again, read it to someone else in your house, read it to your dog, and figure out by the end, does the spy cry? Okay? The next part we're going to work on is the social studies assignment. Okay? Now, last week, you were finishing up your previous social studies assignment, so this week you'll have a new one. Oh, actually, it looks like it is a very similar assignment. How do your parents, grandparents, or people you live with get what you owe? It is similar, but a little bit different. So you talked to somebody before about how that family member gets the things you need to live in your house and to be healthy and survive. This week, you could talk to that same person or maybe a different person and ask, how do your parents, grandparents, or people you live with, whoever you choose, get what you want for you to have? So now our wants that we thought about at the beginning of this remote learning, things like video games or new clothes or toys or nail polish or art supplies, things that you want to have. How does your family member get those things for you, the things that you want to have, or how do you do it? Draw a picture. Here we are in box 1. Draw a picture of your family member doing their part to earn money to pay for what you want, and be sure to color it and make it pretty. So then next week in part 2, you're going to look at that picture you made this week, and underneath it write a sentence about how a need and a want are different. Okay, so that's the really brand new, is that second part of this social studies assignment. So this week you're talking about how do we get the things we want, and then draw a picture about that. Next week we will look at that picture, probably compare it to the first picture we drew, about getting our needs met, and then write a sentence about how a need and a want are different. At the bottom of that same page is your art. We're going to do fine arts has a visual art, okay, art you can see, and then our music assignment, and we'll go through both of those. For your visual art, it says the directions say using a paper, pencils, markers, and or crayons, students will draw a cat in the style. Could you draw a cat? Draw a cat in the style of Laurel Birch, utilizing the art principle of pattern. So there is a clickable link here if you are looking at these directions, either if you can pull them up in the Google Drive folder, you can click on this link or look up. Here is the artist's name, is right here, Laurel Birch. And so you could Google that to look at some of her work with your parents' permission, of course. Using the template provided in the lesson plan, if you click the link, or okay, drawing a cat shape that takes up most of the paper. Create original patterns and designs within the cat shape. Okay, so you're going to think about this artist, be inspired by her, and draw a large cat shape and then fill it in with designs. And so I think, let me see if I can look up. Okay, so I looked up Laurel Birch on my phone, which makes it hard to see. But if you look here, we can see that the cat shape is a very simple outline. It takes up most of the page. The background is all blue, and then she's drawn patterns inside of the cat to finish out her picture. So very interesting cat shape. Let's see. There might be one more because that one had a very geometric, the triangles and things like that. Here is one that's very interesting. Whoops. And I can't make it very big. If you can see that, not too well. It has some polka dots in the background, and the cats all have flowers on them. So the outline of the cat is a very, very simple outline, just leg shape, belly, tail, very simple outline, but inside are very detailed designs and patterns. So kind of interesting. And I don't know about you, have you ever seen a cat that's covered in flowers? Or with triangles? Or with these amazing swirls and lines and dots and triangles? I have not. That's where art lets us have our best imagination. That's wonderful. I would love to see your cats. So moving on to our music, it's the last thing here on this page. Use the descriptions below to help guide you in finding or creating a piece of art that has two similar artistic qualities to the musical selection of your choice. Choose two of the elements and create or find a work of visual art that has similar features to your song selection. That's a lot of information. So you're going to select a musical selection, think about two elements of that musical selection, and then find a visual art that goes along with it. For example, if your song has a strong, steady rhythm, then your work of art would have the same, like these examples. So here are some examples of art that this person feels has a strong, steady rhythm, kind of repeating, a nice rhythm to these pieces of art. It's a very interesting project. So here are some different, then they have a list for you, some different elements that you might notice in your music or your art. So here are some elements of music: melody, rhythm, texture, expressive qualities, dynamics, tempo, articulation, form, the organization and structure, timbre or tone color, and harmony. Wow, those are a lot of wonderful musical terms that you probably have to explore a little bit more. So um, with your grown-up, somebody that lives with you, we can read and discuss these elements, these things that are present in different types of music. And then when you're choosing your musical selection, think about them. So if you thought, I'm going to think about the texture of my music. Texture is the combination and number of performers or instruments being used and the way in which those combinations are used to create the complexity of the music. So I would think about, for my piece of music, what is the texture? How many instruments do I hear? Are they playing all the time? Do they all play lots of notes? Or is maybe one of them plays a very steady rhythm and other instruments play a few notes here and there? All of those things are creating the texture of your music. So think about that. And then if you look over here, there's another texture. So if I decided, oh yeah, it's a really busy texture, all of the instruments are playing all of the time. Then I can look over here and my element of visual art, texture, an element of art that refers to the way things feel or look as if they might feel if touched. So if I felt like my music had a very busy texture with lots of instruments and lots of things happening, I probably wouldn't choose an art that looked smooth. I might choose an art that looked rough or bumpy, so that those matched together. This is a really interesting project that takes a lot of thinking, but if you have reasons for it, you can't really be wrong. It's very subjective, very much what do you think? So I am interested to see how first graders are interpreting music and art and how they see that those are similar. I hope that you guys have a really, really wonderful week as you work on week 7 work and you are just doing your good work, and we get to chat sometimes, hopefully on our Google Chats, and I love hearing from you on Schoology or emails. So stay safe, be well, and do good work. Talk to you soon. Bye.